You're listening to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon, presented by 92.9 Tom FM, an iHeart radio station.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon. I, of course, am Kyle McMahon, and it is episode 27. Isn't that insane? Episode 27. Well, in this week's episode, I've got another all-interview special for you. I have the second part of all my interviews from the Firefly Festival. So I talked to Quinn XCII. He's incredible. I talked to him about mental health, his new album, and working with Max, all kinds of good stuff. I talked to Dashboard Confessional, which is a real treat. I talked to him about his new album, his inspiration for his songs, his little hiatus that he did. Also, Jukebox, Ben from Jukebox the Ghost. He is so cool. I love them. And Crooked Colors, they are really fun, all the way from Australia. I talked to Lawrence about their upcoming album and their new song with Jon Bellion, who doesn't love him. And then, to cap it off, I talked to the Ex-Ambassadors about their brand new album, Orion. This is one you guys really don't want to miss. So thank you for listening. As always, you guys keep bringing us to new heights. You are amazing, and I love you. Oh, let's jump right in. All right, I am here live at Firefly. I'm talking to Quinn XCII. Thank you so much, man, for hanging out with me.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, I got so much to ask you. First of all, your album, From Michigan with Love. Tell me about that. It's such an awesome album. I love how you mixed genres, and it's just really cool. What was your inspiration behind it?
Yeah, so the inspiration was just to make a project mainly, I should say, about mental health. My whole thing, like you said, genre bending has been a thing that I've always wanted to do with music, but I mean, for this project specifically, I wanted to kind of lend a voice to people dealing with mental health. It's something I really struggle with. So, and I feel like we're in a day and age where that is really being more. It's not so taboo anymore to talk about, So, I just wanted to, speak on that in my way, my authentic way, and yeah, man, just it was cool. It was cool to get feedback from people that are dealing with stuff like that, depression, anxiety, and I just wanted to lend a voice for people that don't have a platform to speak about it. So.
Absolutely, and I think that's really brave of you. We need more people like that, and I know you're a fan of Mike Posner. I love Mike Posner. He's such an amazing artist. Yeah. And he spoke a lot about. He has spoken up a lot about that, with depression and anxiety. And I think the more artists that are out there talking about it, the less of a stigma is attached to it. You know what I mean?
Totally. And I think I'm learning too, just as I get older and having a platform. I just want to start using it in the right way. I think for a while I was I was tweeting out stuff, and I like to give fans a inside look at my humor and just my everyday in the life, or whatever you want to call it. But now it's I feel like it's important to, if I have the chance to reach thousands of people, talk about some really meaningful stuff. So Mike, like you said, Posner does a very good job of that. So I'm just trying to be another vehicle to spread the message. Yeah.
Yeah, and what has the feedback been like for you from that? Because that's scary.
It's totally scary. I mean, for me, it was the feedback's been great. It was very, I was nervous to talk about it, but it ended up being very therapeutic for me to get that off my chest, and I think I received the most from it than anybody else. I figured at the beginning I was just going to help fans out, but for me, I think in turn, I was the one that benefited from the most. And just, again, fleshing out that stuff I've wanted to really describe in detail, and finally being able to do it. And it makes me feel so much better when someone hits me up on Twitter or something saying, I'm so happy you made the song strictly about, X, Y, and Z, because that's exactly what I go through. So it's comforting, to know that there's other people out there that are struggling with it. And, it makes me want to just, again, keep pushing that narrative of spreading love and positivity and, breaking down those walls, that stigma, like you said, of these taboo subjects that we're told we can't speak about. So
yeah, and the thing that I love about you and Mike Posner and artists that are doing that is that it's not like preaching, you know what I'm saying? You're putting it in a package that you can vibe to or sometimes dance to or whatever.
Totally, yeah. I mean, the songs are still, get you moving and stuff, and I think that's the secret recipe is you still want to create something that makes you feel good. And for me, it's I like to speak on serious topics but the undertone of the song still makes you feel good. So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds. Absolutely. So for me, that was really important. I think that's always going to be very important for me. It's just to make music that gets people feeling something, but still sprinkling in a serious message. So yeah. Sure. Yeah.
So, and you had a new song just come out yesterday or recently, depending on when you're watching this. Today's Sunday. Yeah. Jeez, 2 days ago. Stacy. So tell me about that.
Yeah, man. So I wrote this song with some friends of mine, John Bellion, who's a huge inspiration of mine. And I got a chance to work with him. It seems like I'm continuing to work with him now a little bit, so it's really cool to do that, and it's very surreal, honestly. John, Michael Pollack, and Jordan Odegaard, who are just amazing producers and writers, and we wanted to make a song about this like fictional story of this freshman kid who's obsessed with this senior girl. She's kind of like the hot shit of the school, and it's a good nostalgic summer vibe, and I think it's perfect for obviously summer starting. So we wanted just to come out with a nice like groovy song, and yeah, man, I'm really excited. We're gonna premiere it actually today at my show, so first time performing it, so I'm excited. Yeah,
that's awesome. And you are the almost lost what I was gonna say. You are performing it at Firefly today. Are you excited about doing the Firefly Festival?
Absolutely. I played here 2 years ago. Played on what was called the porch stage. I think they changed it to Hideaway this year. Yeah. But now I'm on the main stage today, so it's really cool to see just like the progression and firsthand. Yeah, it's amazing, man. So it's super humbling, and I think just this festival in general really does a great job of accommodating its guests. And like I've been here since Friday, so I've been able to see like some of my favorite acts like front row, like being able to be like part of it, and it's really cool. So I'm hoping to emulate some of their energy today, but we'll see. So it's gonna be fun. Yeah.
And what can we expect? You're doing a few more festivals, and then tour. Like, what's next?
Yeah. So I'm hoping to put a project out by the end of the year. So it'll be my second album in 1 year, which I've never done. But I think this day and age is like attention spans are just so short. I just want to keep cranking out music. So that's the goal. We'll see if that gets done. But and then a tour will happen at the top of 2020. But like you said, summer is just meant for the festivals and one-off shows, and just but more content for sure is coming. So yeah.
Sweet. And any kind of thematic, any kind of theme that we can look forward to yet? Or
I think with Stacy, this record I just put out, I think this next project I want it to feel very nostalgic and almost like music you've heard before. Obviously they're new songs, but like I want it just to, I don't know. Yeah, like in high school, I remember like some of my fondest memories of music are from high school, and when I hear those songs, it gets me put right back into one place in time. And with this new project, and I think with Stacy, the goal was to make something like that. So that is the objective. We'll see if it gets done or not, but yeah.
I'll tell you, it's been on repeat on my iHeart Radio app over and over and over.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, Quinn XCII, he's going to be coming your way, top of 2020. New album out by the end of the year. Stacy is a bop. You got to listen to that. Thanks, brother. Hey guys, Kyle here, live at Firefly. I am talking to Chris from Dashboard Confessional. I'm so excited to talk to you. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks for having me over.
Thank you. So, what's it like to play Firefly?
It's really exciting. It's a beautiful day after some tough weather, I hear. I got a lot of friends here that I'm excited to see, a lot of bands I've never seen before that I'm super psyched to see. This is a great festival.
Who are you most excited to see?
Phosphorescent.
Awesome. And you have a new album that is pretty exciting. So it is reimaginings, would you say, of some of your back catalog. Why did you choose to do that?
Well, so there's 3 records I made that I thought maybe I got pushed off course for whatever reason, and the intention is captured somewhat. Mm-hmm. The original intention, but some of it was missed. I got pushed away from certain lyrical content or song structures, and I decided. And I also still felt like there's a part of Dashboard that is just me and a guitar, and these had been band records. So I don't know, it just kept nagging at me that like just for myself, I wonder what those would have been like if they were like my first 2 records.
Right.
And if I had not listened to people that said, change this lyric, change that lyric, change this structure, change that structure, and I figured, well, there's really nothing stopping me from finding out. And when I did it, I didn't know I was going to put it out. I just thought I'd discover something special. But once I did it, I realized this is something I'd be proud to share and experience with other people.
And what was that like for you to revisit these songs and then unleash them into the world?
Well, those are two different things. The revisiting was empowering, exciting. It was kind of fascinating to understand the power the songs had in my life, kind of as a reflective thing. Mm-hmm. But also, I know how those life experiences changed me and how they affect me today, and I think I imbued the new versions with that as well. And then sharing, to put them out yesterday without any, fanfare or anything like that, just to put them out in the world quietly. I thought there was something about that was similar to the early days of my band, when it was just about the fans that kind of went through the process of seeking out and discovering music, and nothing was force-fed to them. And
which is a very different way of, it's a different business model today.
Well, I don't know if it's good business.
Right.
But it felt like the right thing for the relationship I have with my fan base.
And what do you think, because you do sometimes play with band members and sometimes you do acoustic, one-man band sort of thing, what are the two, besides the obvious, what are the two differences for you mindset-wise?
Well, it's really hard to define that. Both versions, me by myself with just the audience drawing everything out of the song versus the band pushing the emotional lever this way or that way. They're just two different things, and I think the real trick would be if I only had one. That would be something I think I'd grow tired of.
And it's pretty amazing because there's not many artists, or it's not as commonplace for an artist to be able to go and do a whole show acoustically versus also being able to do a whole show with the band. So I think that speaks to the songs themselves.
Well, I would say I recommend it to anybody that is a songwriter, because it's scary. Like, playing by yourself is scary, raw, but you'll discover something every time you do it that you never thought was there, never knew was there, never had a hint was there. And it could be the 1,000th time you played the song. But because you're there by yourself with the audience, you really at the behest of the audience and what they feel. You're not in charge. And it's and in that moment it's just a pure discovery.
So that's got to be especially scary, or at least I would be terrified, in a venue like this where it's a festival, where you are here with acts that are, full bands and DJs and hip-hop artists, and then you're doing a set just you and your guitar. That's got to be terrifying.
Well, I would rather be nervous and terrified than perfect.
I love that.
And I think that I think it's impressive to watch any band just crush and nail it. I personally am intrigued when a band or a solo artist will really go out on a limb beyond their comfort zone. There's something magical about that, and those are the bands that do that are the bands that have the longest legs. At least for me as a fan, in what I invest in them as a fan.
Right. I love that. So you have a amazing body of work, and one thing that I've always wanted to know, and now I have the opportunity to ask, what are you most, and there's many things that I'm sure you're proud of, as a songwriter, what is your baby if you had to choose?
Like what song?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man! Wow, I don't know if I know or if I can answer that.
That's a valid answer.
Well, I'll tell you why I can't answer that. it kind of is tied to, like I said, like I don't listen to my own music. I just play it. And my experience with my music is based on the moment I'm having with that audience. So any one song could be the song that night, and it could be a completely different song the next night and nights from now, because of the audience's experience is. I'm just reflecting that, and I know how it's supposed to be. Like, they buy a ticket, I'm supposed to put on this show. Little do they know how much of a show they're putting on for me, and how deeply I'm connecting to that audience as if they're a band.
That's incredible. So, what is next for you after the festival? How are you going to be hitting the road to promote the new record?
I guess so, but I don't know how much promotion. Yeah, I'll do some, but the process was more important than the machinery for me. And I'm excited about new music that I'm writing, and I'm excited about playing tonight and being nervous, like I always am. That makes me excited, the nervousness itself. And I also don't like to know what's next. It's similar to the thing, like people kept asking me, who's playing Firefly? And I kept saying, I don't know. I said, why wouldn't you know? It's because I don't like to know. I like to show up and be overwhelmed with excitement. Oh my God, look who's playing, look who's playing, look who's playing. I don't like, I want to be a fan. And when you're in this business, it's so easy to be jaded, and I try so hard to safeguard myself from that. So festivals like this, they bring out that true fandom I have. I'm lucky. I got a job that lets me come to festivals and see great bands and play.
So, and you kind of touched on this, what can we expect from the new original? I mean, not that those songs were original to you, but the new original music that you're writing. Is there any theme or anything that we can be looking forward to?
It's beginning to take shape, but I'm not sure it's taken shape enough for me to be able to put it into words yet. I feel strongly about it. That's all I can say.
Awesome. And any idea when we can look forward to that coming out?
In the future?
Okay. Hey, that is absolutely true. All right, Chris, Dashboard Confessional. I am so hyped to talk to him. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. Really do. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, guys, I am here live, day 3 of Firefly. I'm here talking to Ben with Jukebox the Ghost. Thanks so much for talking to me, Ben.
Dude, my pleasure. My pleasure.
So, what's it like to play Firefly?
Well, for me, it's fantastic. I'm at the end of my rope because I just had my sister's wedding last night. So it's been like 3 days of partying, and then we drove here and got on stage. I'm like, I don't even know where I am right now. I don't know how I got here. So, but that's like the festival experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You need to be confused.
I think half of the people here are confused for other reasons.
Yeah, right. Mine's very genuine.
Yes. So, are you going to stick around for any acts tonight?
Yeah, I think once we're done, I'm off to go see whoever's left that I can see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be Post Malone's playing. I mean, there's some awesome acts. DJ Snake, it's going to be cool.
I was like, I didn't know how long everything would take, so I wasn't getting my hopes up, what to see. So as soon as I'm done, I'm like, schedule, here we go. Yeah.
Awesome. So talk about the album. Well, first of all, you put out an EP called Thump Sessions.
Yeah.
So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so Thump Sessions was like, here's the thing with music. You always want to be releasing stuff when you're in a band, right? And so we put out a studio record about a year and a half ago now, toured on that. And then, while we're making the new record, we want to release other stuff. And so we've done an acoustic album, essentially. So we just released more songs, essentially B-sides, acoustic B-sides from old records. So, yeah, it's pretty tight.
And then the last album, so that came out 14 months ago?
Yeah, something like that.
So is it time to start thinking about the next album? What do you
It's like you put out a record and a week later it's time for the next record. That's how it goes. But yeah, we have these shows this week, a couple others, and then it's back to the studio. So we have a bunch of songs written, and it's just a matter of figuring out what to do with them and how to record them.
So what do you think? Is there a theme? Is there any kind of thematic, cohesive?
We loved and we sort of embraced the Queen reference that keeps coming up. And so we're kind of doubling down on being ridiculous, because why the hell not, It's like still doing the pop thing and still doing the rock thing, but trying not to be so, too stereotypical. Yeah. Trying to get weird about it. Because that's the thing about the Queen songs that I keep learning, like, the songs that you love are fucking insane. Yeah. Probably can't say that because it's iHeart, but whatever, we'll edit it. Yeah. But they're insane. So we're like, all right, we can be weird and we can write good songs. So let's do it.
And people are responding to it. I mean, that's the awesome thing. And I love how you guys you kind of straddle multiple genres. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For better or for worse, no one really knows where to place us. I think part of that is like we got a piano in our band, and yet we're still kind of alternative, and that in itself is really confusing for people. Yeah.
And the show that you guys do is so cool. Like it's very alive. You know what I mean? It's a very musically alive show. People love it.
That's the thing. Like, we pride ourselves and always have on actually being able to play our instruments, and we do as little tracks as possible, but we still want to like crush your face. Yeah. So that's it. So it's like 3 dudes, same 3 guys forever. And we play our instruments, and we play them loud, and it's a rock show. Yeah. And so we're not doing like tons of tracks and tons of like low end stuff that's fake. Right. So we want it to be real. We want it to be like an actual show.
And do you think that for going through that, because you've toured a heck of a lot with the last record, do you think that you're incorporating some of those elements from the show into the next record?
We'll find out. I think so. But here's the thing: when we're making a record. We used to just be like, all right, let's play the 3 of us in the room and then do the rest. And now it's like, we're going to make the song as good as possible and make it, kick ass on the record. And then when it comes to a live setting, we'll just figure it out. Okay. And because we trust our musicality, right? Because everyone in the band can play. So maybe I'm on bass, or maybe the guitarist plays bass, or we'll get creative and make it work.
Yeah, and I think that shows through in the music. You know what I mean? It makes a difference, I think, when everybody is switching around like that and hands-on, and it's just the music just comes out of you guys.
Yeah, well, it's fun too because I'm a piano player. I've been playing since I was 6. Like, that's my background, classical piano. And there's a song that was like, I should be playing bass. So I learned bass. Right. Now I play bass, and it's so fun. And so I get to like get up from my instrument and walk around and pretend like I'm more of a rock star than I am.
I think you're doing pretty.
Own it. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. I think you got to own it. Yeah. So for the next record, are you gonna be hitting the road for it?
Of course, we don't know any other way. I think this will be record 6. So we've done 1,200 shows in our career. It's like that's what we do. We put out a record and we tour because we love to tour and we love to make records.
So do you really love touring?
Here's the thing: I don't love sitting in a bus for days on end, but I love playing shows and I love seeing the country.
And that makes it worth it.
It makes it worth it. I mean, every day, like today, I'm exhausted. Like, I spent 4 days with family. I'm like totally fried. I'm barely stringing words together, and I was all moping and doping. And then I get on stage and I'm like, this is the greatest job ever. Right. I love it. I absolutely love it.
And then a couple hours later, you have to come talk to me,
which is my absolute favorite part of the day.
Thank you, brother. Really all right, thank you so much, Jukebox the Ghost. Looking forward to the next album and, of course, the next tour. Can't wait.
Me too. Thank you very much, bud.
Thank you, brother. All right, Kyle here live from Firefly, and I'm here with Crooked Colors. I'm really, really excited to talk to them. Thanks for talking to me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, of course. So have you ever been to Firefly before?
Never. This is our first festival run in the States. So.
First festival run. Okay, cool. So what is it like doing this material, your music, on festivals? I mean, that's a big jump. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's a great step for us to see how our music translates in the festival world too, because we've been doing our own shows in clubs and stuff, but it's good to get out into the open air and give it a good old red hot go. So, it's been sick. It's been a lot of fun.
And your record, what do you think? How do you think that is translating into the festivals? Because you're going, we're doing clubs, and now it's just a different vibe. You know what I mean? Yeah. So how is that translating in between the two different types of venues?
I mean, we wrote the second record kind of on the road touring the first record, so the main mentality behind writing music was to play it live. So I think it's translating pretty well at festivals. Definitely, yeah. There's definitely more of a dancey kind of upbeat vibe for the second record, and it's connecting pretty well. So we're stoked.
And what do you think? Why do you think you are attracting so many different types of people to your shows? You know, is there?
I don't know, but it's sick. It's so cool to see. Like,
always had all the ages. We've had young people, we've had older people. Like,
What is it about your music?
Oops. You have no idea.
Maybe not in one genre in particular. Maybe have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and there's like the people take those bits and they're like, oh yeah, I'm into that.
I guess it's not very aggressive, so it's pretty open to like a wide demographic,
Right.
which is cool.
What is your favorite song to play from the latest record live?
Ooh, the track called "Hold On," which is really fun to play. We've been playing it really early in the set. I think we might move it down the channel a little bit later because it really gets everyone going. Do It Like You's fun to play as well.
Yeah, old Lampy does a bit of a drum solo, you know that one.
I absolutely love playing Do It Like You.
And what do you think is the best part of playing festivals like Firefly?
Doing this, just like hanging out backstage at festivals, drinking all these lovely, delicious drinks. It's warm weather.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
See a bunch of amazing other artists as well. There's like a festival vibe in the air. It's exciting. This is the dream for sure.
Awesome. And then, so after your festival tour, what can we expect from you guys next?
We've got a US tour in September, so we're kind of going around the whole of US doing that. So we'll be here for a little while, just hanging out.
Awesome.
Be good.
And when can we expect your next record?
We just released one.
Well, we're on a bit of a hot streak at the moment, so we're going to keep rolling. Probably like mid-2020.
Maybe end 2020.
I'm trying to get as much as I can from you. If you release another one tomorrow, I'd be happy about that.
Yeah.
So, and then what do you think is the mark that you are leaving in the type of music that you're doing? Because it's different, you know, and I like that it's got like its own vibe, its own like uniqueness to it. What do you think is your mark?
I think for us it's always kind of been important to be a live act and do dance like electronic music. I think our main goal this whole time is to do kind of organic dance music.
Right.
So instead of it being, you know, really electronic and DJ driven kind of stuff, we want to bring that live element to a genre that has always kind of been, you know, a
Tasteful electronic music.
yeah, something
Take
with a
that.
bit more movement. I guess that's probably the vibe, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And that's one of the things I love about you guys is that it's not just like straight. It's very organically based, you know. I mean, it's drums and you know, where some people can go and just their entire career, it's just, you know, a programmer. You know what I mean? And I really like that you guys bring that like kind of unique, fresh vibe to what you're doing. So.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So thank you, Crooked Colors. I love you guys. Set is going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to the tour after the festival tour.
We're called Crooked Colors, and we love iHeart Radio.
All right, Kyle McMahon here at Firefly 2019. And I am here with Lawrence. What's up, guys?
What's up? I'm Clyde.
I'm Gracie.
Thank you guys for talking with me. I really appreciate it. So, you guys are brother and sister. What? And you have been touring since you were younger, correct?
Yeah.
And then you started touring together as Lawrence. Is that right?
Yeah, from the time we started touring, it's been Lawrence. I guess like way back in the day, it started as a college band under Clyde's name, the Clyde Lawrence Band. And I was kind of singing backup, and I was in high school at the time, so I'd come up to his school whenever I could. But when he graduated college and I graduated high school, we put out an album, went on tour, changed the name of the band to Lawrence, and since then it's been, that's been the way it's been, yeah.
Nice. And what is it like touring with your brother and sister? Like, not only touring, but recording. I mean, you guys have got to be together all the time. Do you still have that, like, brotherly, sisterly?
I think that a lot of people seem to feel like that would be a really hard thing to do. A lot of people actually tell us about their own relationships with their siblings and how they could never imagine working so closely with or touring so closely with their sibling, but that hasn't been our experience. We rarely bicker in a typical sibling way, and if anything, it's a great advantage because we have such a shared voice, such a shared history, such a shared set of influences and references and life experiences that we're able to draw from and almost be on this kind of special wavelength with one another. It works out great.
That's awesome, and probably not something you hear, or at least not something I would hear a lot from, my friends with their brothers and sisters sometimes can't even be in the same,
It's kind of split, I'd say. We meet some people that similarly they come and tell us, oh my God, I'm starting a band with my brother or sister. We're so inspired that you guys are doing that. And then other times, it's, are you kidding me? I hate my brother or sister. And we're like, oh man, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So this is I just realized this is your second time at Firefly. What's it like to come back and play again?
It's really exciting. I mean, the first time we were here, we had a crazy experience where our set was on a Saturday, but we ended up playing a show on the Wednesday night when we got there that was sort of a additional set that we sort of just added on. And it was crazy because I think everyone was just arriving at the festival and looking for something to do.
It was in the campgrounds. And it was absolutely packed and ended up being one of the shows that I think when we're on tour and people come and talk to us, they cite that as one of the shows that, one of the most popular shows that people found us at. So
it's definitely gone down in our band's history as one of our most fun and successful shows, and really taught us that you never know.
Yeah.
You don't judge a show before you take it. No offense to the other show we played at Firefly that weekend, which was also awesome, but the random campground show on Wednesday night blew it out of the water.
Yeah.
And since then we've known to really just go in expecting anything.
So on that note, we're playing 3 sets today, and it should be really fun. I think it's totally different vibes at each show, and I think it's gonna be a great time. Yeah.
And actually, that's a great segue into one of my other questions for you, which is, do you have an idea that you want to do differently for each of those sets, or are you just going to kind of feel out the vibe, or do you have something planned
It's a great question. We toyed with the idea of doing actually different, totally different sets, maybe one acoustically, or maybe one's all covers, or something like that. And we've done things like that before. We did a series of shows in New York where one night was all the new album, one night was all the previous album, and one night was totally acoustic. But
we like a good theme.
We like some good themes. But I think that for today, because as we were just saying, you never know which is going to be well attended. You never know which one it's going to rain during. Right. You never know which one is going to be competing with another huge artist. I think that we didn't want to do that and then put ourselves in the position of having to do something that wasn't our most normal best foot forward in front of what ended up surprisingly being our biggest crowd. So we're doing a full band, full high energy, full on Lawrence show every set, but we are very committed to changing the set list each show, reading the energy of the room. We don't really have super prepared set lists, so we're kind of just going to let the vibe of the room dictate how that show might be different from the one before.
I love that. And then, so one of the things that I love about you guys is there's not many bands, Fleetwood Mac, that where there is some songs that one takes the lead, some songs that another takes the lead. Who decides how that happens? How does that, I love that about you guys, but I was always curious, who decides,
I think nowadays that's largely dictated by who is sort of driving the writing for that song. We both take part in the writing of almost every song, but I think that, sometimes if you're the person who initiates the idea, or you might be the person who has a connection to the lyrics or a connection to the song in a way that you feel like it's most appropriate for you to be the person delivering it. But we've had instances where, a good example is on our first album, Breakfast, Clyde wrote this song, Shot, and I had really nothing to do with the writing of that song, maybe contributed a few lyrics, and we were rehearsing it one day, and I kind of was just singing it with him and singing along to it, and I was just you know what? I think I forget whose idea, but it might have been your idea that you were just like, maybe you should just sing this song. And it's one of the songs that like I feel like gets covered the most by other girls, and it's
definitely become like I think Gracie's most like powerhouse star vocal moment that like a lot of other female singers always reference, cover in their own right, audition on American Idol with.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a lot of songs where one of us might be driving the writing more, but we'll each take a verse on it. So like a song like Almost Grown that Gracie did, that's Gracie's story to tell, but I take the second verse. A song like Whoever You Are that we kind of split the writing of, but maybe I did a little more of some of the shaping of that. She takes the first verse, I take the second. So we try to make sure that even on the songs that are the most clearly one person's story, like Make a Move from the last album for Gracie, or our new single Casualty that came out today for me, even on those songs, there's still a little bit of a featured moment always in some small way for the other person.
And I swear to God that this wasn't pre-planned. They're just really amazing. It's a great segue into your new single. So tell me about Casualty, which just dropped today. And if depending on when you see this, it's going to be available everywhere, all streaming, all that good stuff. Tell me about that.
Casualty is a new song. It is the first single from the next wave of Lawrence music. It's also particularly exciting because it is the first single that our new best friend, collaborator, tour buddy, John Bellion, and label partner, John Bellion, is a part of. He produced that song with us. He made it with us from the ground up. It's the first song that we're releasing on his brand new Beautiful Mind Records. And we're really excited about how it sounds. It feels like still having a foot in the previous chapters of Lawrence, but also having kind of a new, fresh perspective on that sound. And lyrically, it's kind of also fun because the song touches on some of the lyrical themes and stories that we are talking about in Living Room, but it's kind of the next era of
like the evolution.
Yeah, it's like if the last album was a season of television and it ended on a season finale, this kind of picks up where it left off with the season premiere of the next season thematically.
Yeah, no, I think you summed it up really well. It's a really like fun, high energy song, which still feels like us, but I think it feels polished in some new ways, and that's exciting.
Yeah, when I saw that John Bellion was producing, I was like, oh my, that like just your two styles are like complementary to each other in many in many different ways. So I was really excited to when I read that, and then when I heard it, I was like,
cool how many people have thought that. We thought that. I think that we saw the dots and how they would connect, but it's hard to know because we're coming at it more from like how we view our own artistry, how John views his own, the things that we pick up about his music that seem like common threads with ours. But I don't think we really knew for sure whether when we put that collaboration out into the world, whether people would immediately say that makes sense to me, or whether people would be like, whoa, that's totally out of left field.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, I think like it's funny because we have always loved John Bellion and been like, oh, there are elements of what he does that would be such cool things to incorporate into our music. And so to actually work with him and be like, oh yeah, that is what we like, and he just like can,
instead of having to rip it off, instead of us being like, we're going to try to rip off this John Bellion song like we have in the past, we can be like, John, this thing that you did on this song, just like, try doing that here. He's like, I got you. That's going to be dope.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
well, thank you, Lawrence. Thank you both. I'm so excited to see you guys perform 3 different sets at Firefly, and the new single is out today. I'm really excited for all of you to hear it. I know you guys are excited for everybody.
We're playing it 3 times today. Casualty, everywhere that we can play it, we'll be playing it. Hope you guys listen to it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Live from Firefly. All right, I am here with ex-ambassadors at Firefly 2019. Thank you guys so much for speaking with me. Really appreciate it. So, the success of your last album, VHS, before Orion, we're going to get to that. How surprising was that to you? I mean, that blew up. It was such an incredible album. What was that like for you guys?
I mean, it was really,
we had always believed in ourselves. We always knew we were going to, get to a point, but it really was sort of unexpected for us that it was that album and that time that suddenly launched us to a position where, where we were, starting to make a name for ourselves. And yeah, it's been a wild ride ever since.
Yeah, I mean, again, Casey, I think said it. We set out to be a band that was successful. That was always the goal. So it was surprising for it to happen on the first record, but it really did so much for us and set us up for this next one, and it's been great so far. It's been everything we wanted, but it's hard work. It's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, and I'll direct this to you. You guys have been touring like crazy in support of the record. How have you gotten adjusted to that yet? Is this something you never get adjusted to?
I think we've definitely just learned how to do it as efficiently and comfortably as possible. You learn a lot of things when you're making that transition, from like a band in a van with one crew member to a band with 10, and a bus. So it's a learning experience, and you learn how to, just live on the road and be more comfortable with it, and it's less work, but it's still a lot of work, and it's definitely a grind. Yeah.
And for your new record, Orion, first of all, I love the singles off of that. I love the record. It just came out a couple days ago, so it's awesome that I'm here talking with you guys with the release of your new album. What were your expectations with that creatively?
Man, I mean, we took our time writing it. So we probably, I would say, we wrote 2 other entire albums before finally settling on this one, just in the number of songs we've written. And it's been a long process, but really, I think that the time and the effort have paid off in that we've gotten it cut down to only the best songs that we have written over the past 3 years. And yeah, I mean, I think the results speak for themselves. I'm really proud of it, and I think that it's a very cohesive project, and yeah, I think it was worth the wait for us.
And do you think that it is the evolution of your sound? I mean, you did stop essentially with the production of two records before you did Orion. Is this the evolution of X Ambassadors?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it is. We wanted to make something that felt like a natural progression from the first record, that didn't feel like a leap that didn't make sense for our fans, but then also something that felt like a creative leap for us. So I think in searching for that, we found this beautiful sound that created Orion, and feels honest, it feels real, it feels exciting and different for us, but yeah, it also feels grounded in something that we had on the first record, in that it's a band still,
And the touring, a tour was announced a couple of weeks, May, and then dates were added almost immediately. So there you go again as we were talking about the grind. But people love it, and people love seeing you guys, or there wouldn't be that demand for it. What does that feel like to be, validated in that way by all of these people who love listening to your records, seeing the show? How does that feel?
I mean, it feels great, but it's also like very hard to, just like with anything, it's very hard to take time to. It's very important, but very hard to take time to appreciate everything that's going on, and we appreciate it so much, and we love our fans and love the opportunity that we have, but it's also a ton of really hard work, and we're away from our homes and loved ones, and that can be really hard, but it's having the demand and everyone coming out makes it all worth it, and that's why we do it.
Yeah, first and foremost, our fans are incredible, so once we have a new tour booked, it's not thoughts of like validation. It's like, oh, we gotta like really make sure the show is great for them. You know what I'm saying? So it's that's where our brains go. And I think once you're on stage, it always feels good, you know, to connect with people who really have felt something from your music. And it's definitely one of the only things that keeps you going as an artist, you know, is that interaction. And I mean, it's the luckiest thing in the world, because like I think if you're normally like you sit with an album and when you're making it, you listen to it like 800 times before it actually comes out, and by the time it comes out, it's like you don't feel that much when it's out, but then you get a chance to go in front of a live audience every night and get this immediate reaction. And that show that you played on that single date is never going to exist again. You know, like maybe we'll go back to that city, but that same show, that'll never exist again. You know, yeah. So I think it's very lucky that we get to do that.
And so this is your return to Firefly. What is that like for you guys to come back to the Woodlands? You know, 80,000 people. Like, how's that feel?
It's fantastic. This will be, I think, our third time here.
Oh, is it your third?
Yeah, we did. I remember we filled in last minute once before. I forget actually what year that was, but it's incredible, man. We've always said that this is one of our favorite festivals, between, you know, the bands that are booked and the food and the accommodations for the artists and the fans that come here. It's a great festival. We've had such a blast the past two times. You know, we're really looking forward to playing tonight.
Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tonight. I can't wait. So thank you guys so much for speaking with me. I really, really appreciate it. So, isn't that awesome? Every single act that I talked to was absolutely incredible. Such awesome, authentic people, amazing artists, so talented, so kind. It was an amazing event, and I couldn't have asked for a better time, to be honest. Anyway, that wraps up this episode of Pop Culture Weekly. You guys you're the best. I love you all. You're reaching out and telling me what you want to see, what you want to hear, what else you want from me, and I'm trying to give it all to you. So keep up with, hitting me up. I'm at KMacMusic on Instagram and Twitter, at Real Kyle McMahon on Facebook, and of course, Pop Culture Weekly is on social, at Pop Culture Pod CA on Twitter, and at Pop Culture Weekly on Facebook. And when you review us on iTunes, it is a huge help. Like, it really does help us. So please continue to share your real thoughts and feelings on the reviews. And I'm going to start reading some of them starting next episode. So you might just hear your name on the next episode of Pop Culture Weekly. Otherwise, guys, I will see you next week.
You're listening to Pop Culture Weekly with Kyle McMahon, presented by 92.9 Tom FM, an iHeart radio station.
And that's a wrap.